Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And I'm excited to be here today because today we're actually going to break down. People have been asking me, Don, I hear what you're talking about. Some of this that you're talking about makes sense. But what really is the P.I.L.L method? What does it stand for? We're going to be breaking that down today. And I want to say good morning to everyone. And listen, start inviting some people to the room. And if you want to know more about what we're doing, if you want to come up to the stage and ask some questions, we would love to have you. All right. But to kick things off this morning, we want you to understand better what the P.I.L.L method is. Let's find out. Is there anyone who has actually benefited from the P.I.L.L method in the past? We met a gentleman not too long ago who came and spoke for us, and I think you may know who he is, Dr. Eric Thomas. And he has taken advantage of P.I.L.L method, which is prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. Let's listen and watch what he had to say about the P.I.L.L method right now. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, and our team created the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt elimination system ever created. At our recent seminar in Nashville, Tennessee, the keynote speech was delivered by the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas. E.T., as he's also known, mentioned he paid off his mortgage in 4 years using the P.I.L.L method. I invite you to watch and listen.
Listen to me, y'all. One of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Did you hear that? No mortgage, no stress. If you would like to become debt and mortgage free within an average of 7 to 9 years by cutting your interest costs by up to 75%, go to pillmethod.com and request a savings and earnings report today. All right, folks, listen. Just like we said there, Dr. Eric Thomas paid off his mortgage in record time by using the P.I.L.L method. But some people are asking, Don, what is the P.I.L.L method? And we're going to break that down for you today. And please start sharing the room, get some more people in here, and we're going to go over what the P.I.L.L method is. Oh man, I can't wait to get this set up today. So let me go ahead and start getting things ready to present my screen here so that we can go over it. Now, some of you are going to be coming in. Some people are going to come in the middle. And if you're watching the chat for me and they want to know how to see what's going on, please direct them to my digital link up top, my business card, and tell them they can click on Watch Us Live, or they can go straight to YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. They can go there and search P.I.L.L method so that they can see the live stream, so they can see what's going on today. So I'm getting ready to share my screen so people can see what is going on here. We got that. Okay, we're going to share that screen. We're going to bring this up just in case we're going to need that a little later. All right, let's see. New window. There we go. All right. And there it is. And bring up Mr. Brett Whistle just in case. So, folks, go ahead. And if you want to see what's going on here, go to YouTube. And then you can easily see us on YouTube. Go to YouTube. on a separate device, your laptop or your tablet. All right, go there and then search Pill Method and click on the live. All right, so you can actually see it this morning. And let me go into the chat here and say, okay, we got Keisha. Oh my gosh, look at you, Keisha. I see you. Good morning to you. All right, and Natasha, good morning from St. Thomas. Oh my good. Listen, Natasha, we've never met, but I've been to St. Thomas several times. I have a client there in St. Thomas. So listen, we need to talk because my wife and I are going to come back soon. So maybe we can go out to dinner at Oceana. All right. All right. All right. We love that place. All right. And there's a place right downtown in St. Thomas. I can't think of the name of the restaurant right now. But gosh, I can't think of it, but it's a great place right downtown as well. So we're going to look forward to seeing you, Natasha, when we get to St. Thomas. All right. And we got Y'all Love in here. We got Derek in here. We got Steve Mack from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Good to see you. Derek Risen. All right. Life is full of joy. Thank you so much, Steve Mack. All right. And look, and Ms. Muhammad Basila. Okay, please. I don't like butchering people's names. Basila Muhammad. Thank you so much. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. So let me go ahead, and I'm going to be putting up a PowerPoint. All right. But believe me, it won't be a boring PowerPoint. I'm going to try to I'm going to put some life into this PowerPoint and see what's going on here. Miss Keisha, look at you following, going ahead and signing up for Clubhouse. Oh my goodness, Miss Keisha Radigan. It is so good to see you this morning. Oh my gosh. I love it. All right, folks, here we go. We're getting ready to get started here so that we can put this on here. So what is the P.I.L.L method? What is the P.I.L.L method? So we're going to put that on the screen right now. And, no, I need to move something. I need to move this. Wait a second, folks. Wait a second. Before we do that, I got to move some things around so I can continue to watch what's going on. We're going to move this over here. All right. We're going to move this here. And then now we will start the show. I had to switch screens around. I'm watching 3 screens, folks. Well, actually four screens right now. Making sure everything is happening just right. All right. How to pay off mortgages and all other debt in about 7 years. And as I'm watching these 4 screens, I don't want you all to think that I'm running the show behind the scenes. That's not me. All right. We actually have a production manager who runs everything behind the scenes. Make sure that you can see everything that's going on. All right. His name is Kirk Nugent. And somebody mentioned in the comments just the other day, they wish they could have a live stream just like us. If you are listening to me right now, all right, or in the replays, contact Mr. Kirk Nugent. Kirk, if you could put your in the comments, put your 10K card in the comments. So that people can, there it is. Kirk, 10klive.com. Look at him putting it all on the screen. Kirk, 10klive.com. If you want to know more about how to do a live show, this live show has been a blessing to so many people. Somebody contacted me this weekend. Not even, it was yesterday. Someone called who watched one of our videos, has one of my phone numbers at the end of the video. It's only one video out of the hundreds we've produced has that phone number at the end. That lady watched all of our videos, even that one, found that number and called. She says, I've been watching you for months. Now, here is the thing about doing social media like this, or about doing a live show, about producing content. People don't always respond right away to what you're doing. They don't respond in a way that you can see. They are consuming your content. They are learning. They are putting into practice some of the things that you may be saying, but they're not contacting you directly. And because not everybody contacts you directly, you may think you're not making a difference. And then because you're not making a difference, you may get the idea that I don't have to be consistent. Have you ever been to a store? Have you ever been to a store that you were interested in going to? And you got there and they said they open at 9 a.m. And they're open Monday through Friday. And they open at 9 and you get there and they're not open. Has that ever happened to you? And then maybe you come back at 11 and they're just getting in, opening the door. Yeah, that part. Well, if you're telling people that you're going to be here on Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday weekly at a certain time, show up. Whether people are letting you know they're consuming your content or not, show up, because you don't know who's watching. Kurt, listen, I know you're busy, man, but and I know we're supposed to be talking about this, but it just hit me that the reason why we're here is to make sure that we get a certain message out, and it's important to be consistent in getting that message out. So, Kurt, anytime that you're ready, if you can, get to your camera, come on with us, and talk to us about the importance of being consistent, because, man, you are consistent. And because of your consistency, there are major corporations that are supporting you and helping you do what you do. They notice what you're doing and major corporations are sending you products for you to open online. All right. And listen, I need you to talk about that a little bit if you can. And if you can't today, I get it. But you need to come on at some time and talk about how your consistency have brought people out of the woodwork, major corporations who are supporting you now and helping you do what you need to do. This is fantastic what we're doing here, and I'm getting energized. Listen, sometimes people don't come up to the stage and ask questions, and then I'm wondering, are we being effective? And then I get a message that we're watching you, Don. We're watching you. We're consuming your content. We may not come to the stage, but we're consuming your content and we're making decisions that help us to level up our lives because of the information you're providing. And I want you to know, everyone who is consuming this content, whether it's live or you're watching the replay, I appreciate you. And I thank you for the energy that you're sending our way, that positive energy, so that we can continue to do what we've been doing. Go ahead, share the room, folks, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm sharing the room myself. All right, asking folks to get in here. All right, and we're going to do some emojis. All right, we got some flames and we got some gems and we got some power. All right. And listen, we've got some things going on here. Okay. All right. So there we go. Oh, nope. Don't want to delete it. I want to share it. There it is. All right. So I've even shared the room. I need you to share the room. Miss Liza, I see you there. Miss Christiana, I see you too. Thank you for being here this morning. Let's get started. Let's jump in. All right. 15 minutes into the hour. Let's jump into this thing. What is the P.I.L.L method? How to pay off mortgages and all other debt in about 7 years. All right. So here we go. Now, just to get started, P.I.L.L method, P.I.L.L method. You can view us on Clubhouse, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. All right. And if you want to know more about what we do right now, let me put my QR code up. And if you are watching this, the replay or even live, go ahead and scan my QR code. This is my digital business card. If you're watching the replay, you can pause it. All right. And then scan this, and then you can add our company to your contacts so that you can always get a hold of us. All right. Now let's move on. So what's going on? Here is my 10K card, which is ICE10K.com. ICE stands for Interest Cancellation Expert. All right. ICE10K.com. You can contact us that way as well. Or you can go straight to our website, which is PILLmethod.com. All right. And now here's my book. My book is the only book, the P.I.L.L Method, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt. That book is the only book on Amazon out of 33 million titles that talks about interest cancellation and what we're going to be talking about today. I've got some special notes that we're going to be going over. So I'm going to be bringing up my notes as well so that we can go over those as well right here. There we go. Where are my notes? All right. And bring that up, get out of there. All right. So folks, we are going to be talking about a lot of things today. And I want you to know that the information we're going to be providing is so powerful that it is an actual game changer. All right. And why do I mention that here? Can anybody tell me, put in the chat, what do you believe causes ulcers? Put in the chat what you believe would cause an ulcer. All right. Let me see. Can somebody put something in there for me? Kind of participate with us today? Or we can put it in on. All right. All right. There we go. Stress. People are saying that's what causes ulcers. Do you know that back in the 50s and 60s, everybody believed that, even in the 70s? Okay. They believe that. And there was a doctor, two doctors in Australia. I'm talking about in the outback in Australia, discovered that it was a bacteria that actually caused ulcers. And the medical community not only tried to discredit them, I mean, they laughed them out of conferences. They wrote white papers on this. They have a lot of, now you can look this up online. All right. And what they discovered was a bacteria called Helicobacter pylori, and it's H. pylori for short. All right. Helicobacter pylori. And the medical community, everybody believed that a bacteria could not live in stomach acid. And they were saying, how can a bacteria cause this when the stomach acid would kill all bacteria that we know of? But this one bacteria thrives in stomach acid. And they just made this discovery. Did you know how they treated ulcers way back when? They treated ulcers with surgery. They would go in, they would repair the stomach lining, because they would eat through the acid would eat through the lining of the stomach and then start causing holes in the stomach, so that would go in and repair that surgically. But guess what? No matter what happened, If you got an ulcer once, you got an ulcer again because of the bacteria that was living in the stomach. They started this research, back in the 70s. And for years, they tried to get this information out, and it was ignored for years. For years and years, people were suffering because they couldn't get this information out. Till one of the doctors actually mixed up a batch. Here we go. How much do you believe in what you believe in? Okay. How much do you believe in what you believe in? Mixed up a batch of H. pylori in his laboratory. And guess what he did when he mixed up a batch of H. pylori liquid in his laboratory? What do you think he did with that? Okay, go ahead. Put it in the chat. What do you think he did with that with that liquid bacteria? What do you think he did with it? People don't even want to put it in the chat. They don't even want to put it in the chat. All right? He drank it. He drank it. And guess what he developed? He developed an ulcer. Giovanni said, you got it, Giovanni. Go ahead. He drank it. That's how much he believed in what he believed in. He drank what he believed in. He drank it and developed an ulcer. And do you know what he did next? Before he drank the slurry, that they call it a slurry, before he drank it, he discovered how he can kill that bacteria. Do you know how they kill that bacteria? With something that, you've heard of Pepto-Bismol? The active ingredient in Pepto-Bismol kills H. pylori. So they knew what killed H. pylori, what he could cure himself without going to surgery, and he drank it, gave himself an ulcer, and then these doctors documented every single step. Then took some of that stuff, that active ingredient in Pepto-Bismol, and cured himself of his ulcer, went away. Discovered this in the late 60s, early 70s. Guess what just happened in 2005? These guys, because of their dedication. Now you can look up their names. I'm going to have you look up their names, okay? Because if you go on Google and look up the cause of ulcers and who discovered H. pylori, these two doctors' names will come up. They finally won a Nobel Prize for their work. I believe it was 2005. Discovered it in the late 60s and early 70s that this was the cause. And they didn't receive real recognition until 2005. Folks, that's a long, long time to hang on what you believe in, having the whole medical community, go against you and tell you that you're wrong. Every conference that they go to, when you're not the popular kid and you go to sit down at the lunch table and everybody moves away, that's what they were going through. The whole medical community laughed them to scorn, but they believed in what they believed in. So much so that they drank what they believed in. How much do you believe in what you believe in? This is why we're here at the P.I.L.L Method. We believe in these things so strongly that the most of the community around finances has this all wrong about how loans actually work and the effect that it has on families and on business. It is huge. It's huge. Thank you, Keisha. Keisha says being persistent can get you far. Yeah, exactly. Can get you far. All right. Listen, I trust that. I believe that. You've got to stay persistent and consistent. Folks, let's get into this thing. And this is why we wrote the book. And because we wrote the book, it is the only book of its kind on Amazon out of 33 million titles. It's been a #1 bestseller about 5 times. We're trying to get it there for a 6th time, getting the information out. Holiday seasons are coming up. Get the book and give it away as gifts, because no one understands this like the P.I.L.L method. And this is why we're going to go over what the P.I.L.L method stands for this morning. All right. So if you want to see what we're doing, go to YouTube, go to Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, search P.I.L.L method and watch us live this morning. All right. So, man, oh man, I am so excited about this morning. And when I read that story about these 2 doctors who discovered what caused ulcers years ago, and you know what is more fantastic? Even though they won a Nobel Prize for their work, practically everybody still believes stress causes ulcers. Even though if you go to your doctor knows what causes ulcers. Your doctor will know now, because it is part of their medical training, that H. pylori causes ulcers. But the general community, us out here who are not doctors, we believe it's stress. I'm trying to tell you right now, the way that you believe about debt, about the way that banks handle debt, the way that we are not taught to handle debt, what you don't know what you don't know. And what you don't know can hurt you. And we're going to get into that right now. Come on, folks. We got 7 shares. We've got 17 people in here. Let's get some more people in here. Let's share the room. 90% of the people you know, we're getting started. 90% of the people you know with a mortgage will never own their home free and clear. Never. Okay? What is going on here? Is this why Kurt sent me a message. Kurt Nugent sent me a message that hopefully he can come in after he gets the kids off. All right. Then he'll join us. He'll get on camera. All right. Listen, folks, here's what's happening. 90% of people with a mortgage will never pay it off. Is that why we get a mortgage? To never pay it off? What? 90%? Why is that? Why is it that 90% of people that you know? Now, listen, I'm not just making things up here. I need you to think about it right now. Right now. Think about it. Of all the people you know or have ever known that had a mortgage, that you know that actually paid it off, when you count it up, it'll be less than 10% of the people you know. Why do we enter into a situation where 90% of us will fail? Why do 90% of us fail? Because listen, I bet you 100% of people who get a mortgage don't want to have a mortgage until they die. 100%. Well, nearly 100%. Nearly 100% of the people who get a mortgage, I just believe they don't want to have it until they die. But 90% will. 90% of us will die with a mortgage because we don't understand it. And just like those 2 doctors in Australia, wanting people to understand what causes ulcers, we here at the P.I.L.L method want you to understand what really causes long-term debt. What causes long-term debt is not the size of the debt. It is not even the interest rate. It is the interest cost on managing the debt that causes long-term debt. And what we're going to be able to do, folks, is help people to understand that you do not have to pay that high cost of managing debt. You don't have to. And you can do this without ever refinancing. You can do this without sacrificing lifestyle. You can do this with making the current amount of money that you're currently making. You can pay a lot less interest, up to 75% less, and pay off all of your debt, mortgages, student loans, credit cards, car loans, in 7 to 9 years on average, instead of 30 years to never. 7 to 9 years on average. Can you imagine? How in the world can somebody that we don't get to see it, because, you know, we don't get to see how all this works. We don't understand it. But somebody here is telling you that when you understand how the rules are, the rules of the game, you can pay off all of your debt in 7 to 9 years once you understand what's really going on behind the scenes. And you don't want to be part of the 90% who will die in debt because we don't know what we don't know about it. Go ahead, folks. We got 9 shares. Keep sharing the room, okay? We got some comments in here. Thank you. All right. Derek says we don't know what we don't know. All right. Steve Mack says, I only know one person who pay off a mortgage. One person, his whole life. He only knows one person that has paid off a mortgage. Wow. All right. You know, being with the P.I.L.L method, guess what? I know several people. We have hundreds. We've got thousands of people who've actually paid off mortgages. I love this. All right. So 30-year loans should pay off in 7 to 9 years on average. Not just the mortgage, but all of your debt should pay off in about 7 to 9 years on average. You should be able to do. Keisha said, I'm about to be one. I love it. I love it. I love it. She said, I'm about to be one. That sounds so good. You could do it without refinancing, without change to your budget, without sacrificing lifestyle. Now, here's what I need you all to understand. Those people who we think are financial experts in their field. But they're not financial experts when it comes to understanding how loans work. They're just not. Okay? Have you ever been in a situation where somebody who has a PhD, let me give you, let me be more specific. Let's say you go to your church, okay? Or at your job, and somebody is a PhD. They have a PhD in whatever they have a PhD in. And because they have a PhD in this one thing, that's their field of study, folks automatically assume they're smart about everything. And they want Dr. So-and-so on this committee and that committee, and it has nothing to do with their expertise. Have you seen it? Natasha's right says, so true. Okay, you've seen it. At church, at your work, they got a PhD in this thing. They're smart about this thing, but that does not make them smart about everything. Here's what you all need to know about this, okay? Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for people who know about how loans actually work, here's 3 places, here's 3 professions that don't know. Your accountant does not know how a loan works. Your financial planner, even your banker or loan officer. What? Do you realize how a mortgage works or how amortization works is not taught in these classes? Because they don't know. You know who dies with a mortgage? Accountants die with a mortgage. Financial planners die with a mortgage. Bankers die with a mortgage because they don't understand how it works. Once you understand how it works, then you'll find out what is the cause, what is the root cause of long-term debt. What is the root cause of ulcers? H. pylori. What is the root cause of long-term debt? Keeping it forever. Interest cost is the root cause of long-term debt. So what do? We solve, we cure the cause. We attack the cause. Ulcers, you get some Pepto-Bismol and you kill H. pylori, ulcers go away. You understand interest cancellation, and now you get rid of the root cause. You handle the root cause of long-term debt. Interest cancellation attacks the root cause. Get rid of 75% of that interest so more of your money stops going to interest, so more of your money will go to the actual loan that you got in the first place. Okay? Because this stuff that we're looking at is invisible, the amount of interest that we pay each month, we're not paying attention to. It seems invisible to us. We pay a lot more. And so accountants don't get it. Financial planners don't get it. Bankers don't get it. All right? So listen, can we get, all right, nobody's raising their hand yet to come to the stage. All right. Every now and then I got to check and see. All right. So now let's go to the next slide. All right. How many people are actually watching us? Oh, we got some folks watching us online. All right. Here is where, you know where else you will not get this kind of information? Here's where else you won't get it. Dave Ramsey doesn't teach what causes long-term debt. Susie Orman doesn't teach what causes they don't attack the cause, which is interest cost. They don't attack that. Okay. Dave Ramsey thinks there's a behavior problem. It's about behavior when it's actually about handling interest. All right. Susie Orman, Gene Chansky, David Burkett, some of the most famous people in the world that talk about long-term debt, some of the people that are on, that have millions of views on YouTube, none of them are talking about interest cost, which, when you stop to think about it, has to be the cause. Has to be. When you stop and think about it, when we make a mortgage payment and a small amount of money goes to principal out of all the money we just paid, and that huge amount of money goes to interest, what if all of that money you paid went to the principal? No way would we be in debt for 30 years if all of that money went to principal, went to the loan, went to pay down the loan. But for too many years, too much money goes to interest. Did you realize when you break it down, and Liza will tell you, because Liza now knows, she sees it. Okay. Liza is a realtor. All right. Okay. And she's going to start teaching this to her clients. It takes between 17 and 19 years. I'm going to repeat this. It takes between 17 and 19 years to pay off half of your mortgage. The first half, between 17 and 19, almost 20 years to pay off just half your mortgage. The second half of your mortgage, if you were to work on it, okay, the second half is paid off in the last 10 years, 10 or 11 years. The first half, it takes 17 to 19 years to pay off half on average. The last half only takes 10. Why is that? Because the amount of interest that you pay over the years goes down on each payment. You start out, and the first payment is that the amount of interest that you pay out of your payment is somewhere between 75 and 80% on average. 75% to 80% of what you're paying goes to interest. Can I break that down a different way? Are you listening, folks? Are you listening? Okay, tap in here. Tap in and listen. What I just said was every dollar that you pay towards your mortgage, 80 cents of that dollar goes to interest, and only 20 cents out of your payment dollar goes to the principal. 20 cents out of every dollar pays down your loan. 80 cents out of your dollar goes to the bank. Folks, is that how you want to continue to spend your money? I'm asking, and I need an answer. Do you want to continue spending your money this way, where 80 cents out of your dollar goes to the bank in interest and only 20 cents out of your dollar goes to principal, paying down the loan? Is that what you want? All right, I'm checking. Let me check the. All right. Okay. Liza says, "Oh man, look, here come the answers. Absolutely not. Don't have." Lizette says, "Don't have a mortgage yet," but she said, "Hell to the no." Natasha says, "No way." Thank you, Lizette. Oh my gosh. Listen, folks, that's what's happening. 75 to 80 cents out of your dollar goes to the bank, while maybe a quarter to 20 cents to maybe 25 cents out of every dollar goes to pay down the loan. Let me back up here and tell you this. And I need you guys to listen again. Come on, wake up. Wake up. What's going on here is, if once you understand how all of this works, you can flip that around, where about 80% of your payment goes to principal and only 20% goes to the bank. What? Yes, you can do that once you know how. Do you realize that banks know this? They've chosen this form of paying back loans because it makes them so much money. They've chosen this. But once you know the truth of the matter, you can use your same budget to flip the number, to flip it upside down, flip the script. 20 cents goes to the bank, 80 cents goes to you. How would you like that? How would you like to know what that's all about? This is why we want to understand the P.I.L.L method. And why? Why is all of this? The ability to read and to defeat an amortization schedule. How come these people don't know? It's not because they're trying to hide it from you. Okay? The Dave Ramseys of the world, the Susie Ormans of the world, they're not trying to hide this information from you. Why is it that nobody knows this? The ability to read and to defeat an amortization schedule is not taught at any level of financial education. How could they teach you when they're not being taught themselves? They're looking at everything around what causes debt, and they're giving you the information that they're giving you does work somewhat in a limited fashion. The information that they're giving you. But what if you can get something that is more powerful? What if you can get information that is more powerful to help you to get things done? Oh my goodness. You want the best information available. You don't want just something. I don't want just something to do that's going to kind of help me. I want information that's going to help me ultimately, optimally, to kill the most amount of interest that's mathematically possible, so that I can stop giving all of that money to the bank and pay off all of my debt in record time. Guess what can happen with that interest money you're no longer giving to the bank? Do you realize you can take that money and invest it in yourselves? Whoa! And make yourself a millionaire out of the money you're no longer paying the bank. What do you think the bank is doing with all that interest money you're giving them? 80% of your payment. What do you think they're doing with it? They're investing it. What could you do if you didn't have to pay it? You could invest it too. We'll talk about that as well. That's part of what we're talking about. So folks, listen, we got 10 shares. All right. Thank you for sharing the room. We got more people in here. We're up to 24. Credit Goddess, you know better than let me just talk on and on while you're on the stage without your moderator badge. What's going on with you, young lady?
I just got in, Don.
Oh, okay. Because I don't be looking at the screen. Good morning to you.
Hi, Grand Rising. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Credit Goddess, will you tell people what's going on here? All right. Tiante's in the room. Go ahead, girl. You know I love you in here. Thank you for showing up. Credit Goddess, will you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Rosalora Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I am in this beautiful, well, so-called hurricane weather in Florida. Prepping for that I think it should be here by tomorrow morning, something like that. But yeah, I'm here, holding on, hanging tight. I'm a credit score improvement strategist. So not only do I help my clients repair their credit through DIY or done for you service, but I also educate them on how to optimize and improve their credit so that way they can look good in front of these lenders and get approved, never denied. I'm also a NAV business loan broker. I help my clients get funding for their business, whether it's startup or you're looking to grow and scale. And then I'm also a business credit coach. Business credit is separate from your personal credit. And you do want to separate those two things. And I teach my clients on the concept of the 5 C's of credit. That is character, collateral, capital, capacity, conditions. So understanding that, then you would know how to leverage to get funding. So that's me in a nutshell. Thank you, Don.
You're so welcome. And at least once a month, Credit Goddess comes in here, does a whole mini, master class on this. So Credit Goddess, can we count on you for this month as well? In November? Oh,
sure.
yes. She's going to do it, folks. You just tell me what day this month is and that's going to be your day. All right.
Maybe that will be leading up to, because I'm planning to do like a 12-day or Christmas type of ordeal where I give them challenges to get their credit together. Yeah, taxes, business, anything for entrepreneurs or those that's looking to purchase a home, because tax season is coming around.
Yes.
So they need this information. Yeah.
All right.
So we'll talk.
All right, we'll talk. Let's pick out. Listen, I see Lady Miz in here. Lady Miz, okay, you need to look her up. If you like hip hop music, and I'm trying, Lady Miz, I'm trying to learn more about hip hop music. At my age, I'm still trying to learn. All right, trying to learn whatever I can. But if you love hip hop music, listen, she's got some stuff out there, and check her out. Tap her profile and check out her music. And listen, she is so tough, Lady Miss. I saw you. You have some chips out there too. She's branding all sorts of stuff, folks. All right, snack foods, along with whatever else she's doing with her music. Go ahead with your bad self, Lady Miss. We love you up in here because you are doing the do with your situation. All right. Thank you for being here this morning. All right. Excellent. All right. So folks, back to it. What is the P.I.L.L method? So financial education, all right, is important in understanding what's going on with these loans. All right. Why is that so important? Let's go to the next one. Because of this, here's what you need to understand. P.I.L.L method stands for prepayment of principal, isolation of principal amounts, leverage, and liquidity. Just a quick overview. Prepayment of principal. When you prepay, all right, you are taking on you are changing up the timing on which the bank receives their money. You see, the bank uses math to charge a lot of interest each month, but it's based on a 30-day schedule, a month-to-month schedule. If you do what they ask you to do, make your on-time payments. This is why they give a credit score. Okay, there is a credit score. Okay, did you know your credit score is not like some governmental agency? Has nothing to do with the government. Has nothing to do, and even Credit Goddess will tell you there's really no such thing as a credit score. All right, it's something that somebody invented to sell us something, to something for them to sell. They sell that to banks to see how they can rate us. All right. So when you understand what a credit score really is and what it doesn't really help you that much. So let's not focus on what the banking industry has given us. Let's understand what's really going on. And when we upset their ability to the timing, then we control how much interest we pay just by disrupting their timing. Now, some folks are going to say that that we oversimplify it here, all right? But if you pay, now listen to this now, if you pay the right amount of money, according to your budget, the right amount of money in the right month, on the right day of the month, and attack the right loan, you can maximize the amount of interest you never pay. Now, how do we find that out? Only a computer can figure all of that out. But I am not going to get deep down into what our computer does, but I will give you today some of the basics so that you can understand it. Okay? You can understand some of the basics that the computer is doing so that you can maximize the amount of interest that you save. So my question to everyone, do you want to save some interest or do you want to save the maximum amount of interest that you can? That's what we're talking about. Okay. Oh, okay. Listen, I got 11 shares. Can we get it up to 20 shares? I got 27 people in the room. Credit Goddess, keep an eye on somebody, on people who want to raise their hand and bring them to the stage, because I'm going to be focused on my other 3 screens. And if somebody comes in, let me know you brought them to the stage, because I'm going to be looking at my other 3 screens. Thank you, Credit Goddess. She's got her thumb up. All right. Thank you. All right. So prepayment of principal, folks. When you disrupt the bank's timing, you make it impossible. Listen to this. You make it impossible for them to charge you all the interest that they want to charge you when you disrupt their timing. What? Yeah. You don't have to pay it. In fact, you can make it impossible for them to charge you all of that interest when you disrupt their timing. And I'm going to show you that, what happens when you do. Most people know that you can pay before time. Most people know that you can pay extra on your loan. But what they don't know is what happens when you do. This is the information that has been left out of our education. Only part of the information has been given us. You can pay extra. You can pay before time. But the part that's been left out is what happens when you do. That is key. When you know the benefit that comes with paying extra, oh my goodness. And we're going to teach you a little bit about that today, what you actually get out of it. Okay? Isolating the principal amounts. Isolating the principal amount means paying the right amount at the right time to the right loan. That's what that means. Coming up with the right amount to the penny. How much do I pay? What month do I pay it in? Because you don't do this every month, only at certain times during the year. How much do I pay? What month do I do it in? What day of the month do I do it on? That's what isolating the principal amount actually means. All right? And then leverage. Oh, we kind of understand leverage, because when you understand leverage, you know that a small amount of effort can give you a maximum amount of output. Everybody know what a pulley system will do? You get the right pulley system, and you can get a 12-year-old girl that can lift an engine block. Yeah, because of the pulley system. That's leverage. Small amount of effort, maximum amount of work done. So when we understand leverage, you want the smallest amount of money to put towards the loan to kill the maximum amount of interest per dollar. That's what leverage really means when you understand that. Okay? What is the least amount I can do to get the greatest benefit? When you overdo something, when you overpay, you're actually reducing the amount of work that money can do. The amount of the leveraging effect goes down when you pay too much. That's called, and you want to look it up, okay? It's called violating the law of diminished returns. The law of diminished returns. There's a certain point when you do more than you're supposed to, what you get out of it is diminished. And when you understand that, that means you're going to be well on your way, not only to paying off the debt, but using this system, this debt system, to actually build wealth. Who has ever heard of taking debt and using debt to build wealth when you understand it? When you understand it totally and you understand leverage, you can use your debt to build massive wealth because you are now purchasing your home, your car, all of that at a discount. Anybody love discounts? Do you realize that when you buy money, when you're using money to buy stuff, you're paying retail for your money? Yeah, there's actually a fee called interest that you're paying, and you're paying the most that they want you to pay, but you don't have to. You can get that money at a discount without ever changing your interest rate. You can have the same interest rate and pay a lot less. You can get your money at a discount once you know what's going on. That's what leverage is all about. And then liquidity, understanding how all of your money works together. The cash that you have, your lines of credit, your credit cards, how to use all of those sources of funds, okay, to maximize your interest savings and then also maximize earning compound interest for the future. How all of that money together makes a benefit for you. Your liquidity. What does your liquidity look like? What does it mean to you? Did you realize having money on a credit card it should be considered part of your liquidity? The money that you have available to work with? Oh yeah. The money on your credit card or your line of credit can be used to your benefit if you know what to do. So, folks, the next thing that we're looking at here is, there's the formula that amortizes your loan. Albert Einstein called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Yeah. That means, for me, amortized interest must be the ninth wonder of the world because it makes way more money than compound interest. Compound interest means, after a while, that you start earning interest on your interest. Somebody starts paying you interest on the money you made from your interest. So compounding means interest paid on interest. When you have a mortgage, it can't be compound interest because you're not paying interest on interest. You're only paying interest on the unpaid balance. That is amortized interest. It is not compound interest. Never has been. It's amortized interest. And so when you use the wrong terms, then you have a misconception of what's going on. And the banks love it when we misunderstand what's going on, to the point where banks understand it. This is why people who own the bank, but they don't even teach their employees how it really works. Why is that? Because when they do teach their employees, the employees would let the information out. They would start telling their relatives. They would start telling their friends. Then the information would get out. And eventually it would leak out to all of us. And they won't have kept it under wraps for the last 88 years. So people can actually know, I don't have to pay all of that interest. I can pay a lot less. So more of my money will go to principal. I can flip the script. Yeah, that's what's happening. So this is the formula, folks, that does that. That makes your loan so expensive, and we're not taught how it works. And to get this thing, I don't even have to teach how it works. Here's what I need to teach. If the bank has an algorithm, if they have a formula that makes them all that money, where is our formula? Where's our computer? All right, that helps us to cut the interest cost. Where is our game plan to help us to not pay all of that interest? Where is our Pepto-Bismol to kill the bacteria that actually causes ulcers, so that we can stop thinking that ulcers are caused by stress and not by bacteria? Then folks, based on that, I need you to know this. I need you to listen in closely. The way that you understand your debt, most people are in the situation they're in with their debt structure and with their understanding of finances because we're following the advice of financial experts, not because you're being irresponsible. Most people are in the situation that they're in. There are some irresponsible people out there. You've seen them. But most people are in the situation they're in, not because they're irresponsible. It's because they're actually following best practices that are put out there, that are championed by the banks, and then so-called financial experts start teaching it. And because nobody is saying anything different, we assume it's all correct. But when we employ these tactics and we're still in debt forever, we think we did something wrong. And I'm here to tell you, listening closely, for most of us, the reason why we're in the situation we're in is not your fault. I'm looking straight into the camera. I'm looking straight at you. It is not your fault. How could it be your fault? It wasn't because you weren't paying attention in class. It was because there was no class. And that is why we're here today, to make sure that you have a class on how this is working. All right? So, here is what bank owners don't want you to know. They don't want you to know this. Bank owners don't want you to know. The people who work in the bank, they're doing the best that they know how to do, folks. People that work there are really trying to help, but they're helping with limited information. So with the information you're learning here, please don't take it to your bank, to your financial planner, to your accountant, to your real estate agent, to the mortgage person that sold you your mortgage. Don't take it there to see if what I'm teaching you is correct, because they don't know. What you want to do, if you want to test it, show them this video. Okay? Give them the link to this video. Share this information. And then see what they have to say after they see how we actually break down a loan, which we're going to do here in just a few minutes, how we break it down. All right? With prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. We're going to show you how all of that's done so you can understand it. What is the P.I.L.L method? It is understanding loans from the root level and then optimizing your results. What is optimizing your results? Cutting your interest costs to the bone so that more of your money goes to principal. There it is. Let's get started. Amortized interest is deceptive. Amortized interest is deceptive. The interest rate you are quoted is not the interest rate you pay. That's the first thing. Okay? The interest rate you're quoted is not the interest rate you pay. Let's take a look at that. Here's a $500,000 mortgage. Okay? These 3% interest rates are gone. They may never come back. Okay? But we got a $500,000 mortgage. And the reason why I chose such a low interest rate is for a specific reason. We've been thinking over the years that the low interest rates are the best interest rates and the higher interest rates are the worst ones. I'm here to tell you it is opposite. The higher interest rates are actually better if you want to pay off your mortgage cheaper and faster. The higher interest rates put you in a better position to do that than the lower ones. That's true. I've done some of my other videos on that. Anytime you see one of my videos on YouTube and you see 10% or 7%, or I'm talking about percentages in the title, you want to watch that video, because I'm going to show you how lower interest rates actually end up costing you more money and keep you in debt longer than the higher interest rates once you know what to do. But watch this. We have a $500,000 debt or mortgage for 30 years, all right? And the payment at 3% is $2,108.02. The reason why we have amortization is to give us a payment we can afford. Yeah. But the reason why we got a payment, but the cost of getting a payment we can afford means that the payment itself is way too expensive when in terms of the interest we pay. The total amount of interest that the bank wants us to pay on this loan is $258,887.20. Folks, how is that 3% of $500,000? $258,887.20. Is that 3% of $500,000? Of course it isn't. When you pay back this loan, if you ever pay it back, you'll pay back $758,887.20. And guess what most people do? Most people pay way more than that because they never, ever pay off a mortgage. So if this is what you're going to pay over 30 years, but you never pay it back before you die, does that mean you're actually going to be paying more than the $758,000 here? You better believe it. Okay. So when you break this thing all the way down, the total interest paid as a percentage of principal is not 3%. It's 51.777%. All 3% mortgages for 30 years, all of them, no matter how much you borrow, whether it's $100,000 or $1 million, you're going to pay back 51.777% of what you borrowed. If you're not careful, you're going to pay at least that. 51, all 3% mortgages are 51% mortgages. Yep. Watch this. You think that's something? That same amount, $500,000 at 4%, you're going to pay back $359,000. That's 71.87% of what you borrowed. Yeah, 4% mortgages are 71.87, almost 72%. Yeah. 5% means that you're going to pay back 93% of what you borrowed. That's $466,000 paid back over time on a $500,000 loan. Folks, that's nearly $1 million paid back total. Anybody want to pay $1 million for a $500,000 home? Come on, put it in the chat. Huh? Anybody want to borrow money for $500,000 and pay $1 million for that house? And Lady Miz says, hell no. Natasha says, nope. All right. Keys up. So listen, she got a head blown emoji coming up with oh man, with skulls, and said, no way do we want to do that. Derek says, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We don't want to go there. I'm not done yet. A 6% mortgage. Where are we now? We just passed out of the 6% mortgages. Guess what? 6% mortgage on a $500,000 loan means that we're going to pay back $579,190 interest on a $500,000 loan. You're going to pay back more in interest than you borrowed in principal. Add it together, folks. That's $1,790,000. $1 million for a $500,000 home. Anybody want to do that? Oh, where are we now? You know, when I made these slides a few years ago, we weren't at 7% interest. We are now. In fact, we're about 7.25% right now. On a $500,000 home, 7% means $697,543. So you're actually going to pay back 139, almost 140% of what you borrowed, which means you're going to pay back more in interest than you borrowed in principal. There it is. $697,000 interest on a $500,000 loan if we are not careful, if we don't know how to beat this system. Does anybody want to know how to beat the system? I need some yeses in the chat if you want to know how to beat this system. And I'm going to show you today how you can actually win at these 7% interest rates. Okay? You can win at 7%. Oh, the yeses are coming in. The yeses are coming in. Let me see if there's any comments all right. So online, if you're seeing this online and you want to make a comment here, please do. Please do. All right. So we're continuing on. Oh, you know what? We hit the top of the hour and I didn't do a reset. Let's do a quick reset. All right. And, you're in the P.I.L.L Method Club. If you want to know more about how all of this works, mash that little green matching at the top, join the club. Will you follow me as well? Not because I need clout. I need you to know that wherever I am, somebody may ask me a question about the P.I.L.L method, and I'm going to be able to give some information there that you didn't hear here. So go ahead and follow the moderators, follow Credit Goddess, follow myself, and follow the club so that you can get more information here. If you're watching us online, follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you're watching us. You could be watching us on Twitter. You could be watching us on LinkedIn. Follow. All right? Join, subscribe, like the videos. Okay, hit the notification bell so that whenever we're on, you know it, and like our stuff. When you do all of those things, it improves the algorithm and then it pushes our content out even farther so more people will see it in their feed. You can help get the message out just by following, by liking, by subscribing. Listen, that's not a big deal. We're giving out free game here. We're giving out complimentary game, information that's going to save you thousands. Even if you never do business with us, we're saving you thousands right now. If you want to save millions, you do business with us. All right, there you go, folks. Here's what we're talking about here. All right, we're going on to the next bit of information. Here is. I'm going to break down how a $300,000 loan actually looks in the first 10 years at 4.25%. This is just 4.25%. Okay, watch this. At 4.25%, the amount of interest that you pay is $1,062.50. $1,062.50. The amount of interest, the principal that you pay, is $413.32. I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to do a little bit of math. You're not going to be able to see it, but you can hear it. All right. I'm going to stop right here. Okay. I'm going to stop right here. All right. We're going to put something else on the screen so that you can see the math. I'm going to add up 1,000. Hold on. I'm adding up the payment here. $1,062.50. That's the amount of interest. The principal, when I add it to this, is $413.32. The entire payment is $1,475.82. Okay? That's the payment. Okay, I'm writing this down. $1,475.82. Now, why am I making a big deal out of this? Because I want to show you what the percentage of interest that you're paying on this payment. I'm going to show you the math. You know, Credit Goddess is big on that. Show me the math. Show your work. Okay? Show your work. All right, so we're going to stop this for right now. All right. We're going to bring this up. Okay. I'm going to put something on the screen, put my calculator on the screen. All right. So now the amount of interest. All right. The amount of interest is 1,000. We're going to put that on the calculator. $1,062.50. When you divide that by the entire payment, which is we're going to divide that by the entire payment. The entire payment is $1475.82 equals 72%. At that lower, what could be considered a lower interest rate, 72% of your payment goes to interest. 72%. 72 cents out of your dollar, which means 28 cents goes to pay down your mortgage. 28 cents out of every dollar pays down your mortgage, and 72 cents out of that dollar goes to the bank. Is that how you want to spend your money? I just proved it to you right here. Between 70 and 80%, depending on your mortgage rate. That is a lot of money. That should be criminal. Why aren't we teaching this in school? Why aren't we teaching that you can actually think you're doing well, and 70 cents out of every dollar you're paying goes to interest, and only 20 some cents goes to pay down your loan? Why aren't we teaching that? Why aren't more people teaching this? We need to teach it. We need to start it in grade school. All right? Let's go back to our show. Let's get back there. All right? We'll put that back on the screen. All right. So where were we? We're here. I'm going to break this down. So in the first year, here's how much interest you pay in the first year. $12,652.24. That all goes to interest, period. All right? And the total interest paid in the first 10 years on this $300,000 loan is $115,000. $115,428. That's how much interest you pay in the first 10 years on this thing. That's an average of $962 in interest for the first 10 years. What? Every single month, an average of $962 a month goes to interest on this loan. And we think we're doing well when we get this interest rate. We need to understand more than interest rate. We really do need to understand interest cost here, don't we, folks? Don't we? Don't we? Now, let's break this down. In the first 10 years, how much principal do you pay? $61,670.29. That's how much goes to principal. Well, $115,000 goes to interest. That is a total paid out of $177,098.40 in the first 10 years. And only $61,000 went to pay down the loan. Here is my last question before I move on. Do you think it's fair to have to pay $115,000 to the bank just so that you can pay down your loan by only $61,000 on a $300,000 loan? Do you think that's fair? All right. Oh, Liza says 28 cents. She said, that's crazy loco. Mark Roberts says, never depends. Okay. Money, approximately $200, get $3,400. What is this? Mark, why are you bringing this stuff in my room? Stop trying to sell stuff in my room. Get out of here. All right. Don't be trying to sell. I thought you had a question. You know how to delete that stuff. All right. So is Mark still in the room? I mean, they come in, they leave that, they hit it and quit it. All right. We got somebody raising their hand. Let's bring her up to the stage. Okay. That's Andrea. Andrea, if you can hear me, I just invited you up to the stage. Come on up. Okay. You raise your hand. Let me see if we can get you to come up here, because I'm not watching the thing all the time. So listen, I've got you invited Andrea, what's your last name? Duckworth. Andrea Duckworth, come to the stage with your question, please. We've been trying to get you to come up, okay? Anyway, all right, folks, that's where we are right now. That is way too much money. Way too much money. All right, way too much. All right, thank you, Liza, for coming in. I appreciate you. All right, folks, here's prepayment of principal. All right, anybody who has to leave early, I get it. But we have to take this much time to lay it all out. Watch the replays to get the rest, okay? Click in, write down where you are in the process, and then you can go to that time stamp on the video, because we've been in about an hour. All right, I had to leave after an hour. It's a 2-hour show. Just, I heard about an hour of it. Then, just fast forward. Okay, now let's go over prepayment of principal. All right, here we go. Lady Miz got something to say. It's just as crazy when you say it at your job and you got a 10-cent raise, like you're supposed to be happy. That's right, Lady Miz. When you on a job, you got a 10-cent raise. Oh my gosh, Andrea, I see you came up. All right. Let me get back here. All right, Miss Andrea, how are you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Did you have a question or a comment this morning?
Yeah, I put it in the chat. So when I pay my mortgage, I pay it all online, and it says, the amount that I owe, how much you want to do it, but it also says like towards principal, but then also says escrow. How do I know how much my escrow is, and do I want to pay that off first?
Listen, we're going to be learning all about what this, can I just teach you what the escrow is about?
Of course.
Okay, the escrow is about, it's a bank account they set up for you so that they take your payment, the part of the payment that goes for taxes and insurance, that money goes into that savings account. And then they pay your taxes and insurance out of that account every year. That's what the escrow is about.
Okay, easy enough.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, now here's the thing. Now, I just told you that I'm your bank, right? And I'm going to do you a favor. We're just going to make it easy for you to pay your taxes and insurance, okay? So I'm going to set up a bank account, where you're going to put money in, and it's going to sit there all year long. And guess how much interest I'm going to pay you on that money?
I have no clue.
Zero. I'm paying you nothing. Who benefits from your money that's supposed to be paying taxes and insurance sitting in a bank account? Who benefits from that all year long, from that money sitting there?
The bank.
Exactly. So is it really a favor when we escrow our taxes and insurance?
I guess it's not, but is it a negative?
Well, listen, if you took that money, could you set it up so that you're paying the same amount, but you send that money for taxes and insurance to your own bank account where you pay your own taxes and insurance? Would that benefit you more?
Yeah.
Okay, because you can get the interest off of it, couldn't you? I know it's a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's better than getting nothing. And what if I could show you how to leverage that money while it's sitting in the bank waiting to pay your taxes and insurance? I can show you how you can leverage that money so you can pay less interest on your loans because you chose to pay your own taxes and insurance. How would you like to learn that trick?
I would like to learn that trick.
Yeah, I thought so. All right. So what was your other question? So listen, write that down. Let's get together on that. Okay. So you wanted to understand, what else did you want to understand about your mortgage?
I mean, I'm just listening in. I just want to, pay it off, fairly fast. My mortgage right now, what I have left is $206,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to, unfortunately, my rate is low. I think I have like 2.95 or 3%.
Right?
So I'm listening. I'm like, wait, I thought I got a deal.
Oh my goodness. Listen, let's put your stuff. Can we put your information on the screen?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do that. All right. We're inviting Lady Miz up to the stage as well. We've got Coffee Brown in the house. How are you doing, Miss Coffee, while I get this set up? So folks, we're going to stop right here and
Good
what I'm going to do
morning,
is
Don.
go ahead, Miss Coffee. Talk to us while I get this set up.
Good morning, Don. It's just exciting to be here. Hey, credit goddess, the most incredible woman walking around in the credit world. Phenomenal, a phenom in her own right. Super excited to be in the building with you, Don. Thank you so much for the wealth and the wisdom that you so graciously give to us each and every time that you're live here in these clubhouse streets. I am just so honored to be here to participate in our success as a human race. This is something that's phenomenal for us all, and I'm just so excited that you've been chosen to be the priest of it all, Don. So thank you so much. My name is Coach P. Coffee Brown. I'm a certified master life coach with an emphasis in strategic publishing for entrepreneurs, collaborators, and creatives. We also have other things that we offer. Mainly, that's the focal point of where we are in our entrepreneurialism expansion, if you will. But that is what we do. We support entrepreneurs, collaborators, and creators, and we teach them how to create anthology projects that yield them anywhere from $10,000 up as their profit, the initial profit for projects. So we do that. We teach individuals how to get that done and how to find and identify the individuals that you want to collaborate with you and to have a phenomenal published work. So that's what we do, Don, and we do whatever it takes to help people win. So I yield the mic back to you again. I am Coach P. Coffee Brown, and remember, you can never have a good conversation without a great cup of coffee.
Thank you so much, Coffee Brown. Miss Andrea, we're back. We're ready. Are you watching us online as well right now, or are you going to have to watch the replays?
I don't know. You could watch online. No, I'm just watching you through the Clubhouse app. I'm just working and listening.
Okay. So listen, if you want to see these numbers, I'm putting it up on YouTube. So when you want to watch it, you can go to YouTube and then rewatch this. So your loan, how much did your loan start out? How much did you borrow initially? About?
I would say probably, I think I borrowed my house is more than this, but I borrowed $220. I've only had the house for 2 years.
Okay. So about $220,000. And your interest rate was what? You said 2.9?
Yeah.
Yep. That's about right.
2.95. We'll just say 3%.
No, put in 2.95. Okay. 2.95. All right. And for 30 years. So here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that you have a principal and interest, the part that is not taxes and insurance. I'm coming up with around $921. That is the part that goes, that's principal and interest payment, $921. The rest of your payment goes for the taxes and insurance. Okay, Miss Andrea?
Yes, I pay about $1,200, a little over $1,200
okay.
a month.
That's about right then. Okay. So when you take a look at your mortgage, statement, do you get a mortgage statement each month?
When I say statement, it's just all online. I just go in and pay.
Okay.
It doesn't say too much of a breakdown. It just kind of says where do you want to pay, where, what. You owe money on the first. That's basically it.
All right, but what you can do is go to where your statements are. Click on the statements and you can see how much of your money goes to principal and how much money goes to interest, okay? Your very first payment, here's how it breaks down. About $380.78 went to the principal. That is how much you owe. Okay, the principal part is what you borrowed. $380 out of all the money you paid went to pay down the loan. $540.83 went to interest. Here's my question to you, Miss Andrea. Do you think that's fair?
No.
Okay, so you've been in about 2 years. So Can I add up 2 years worth of principal and 2 years worth of interest? How about that? You ready?
Yes.
Okay. So in 2 years, $9,400 went to principal. That's paid down your loan. While $12,716.94 went to interest. Should it cost $12,700 to pay down your loan by $9,400?
No. That
Okay.
sounds ridiculous.
All right. Now, this is what everybody does. Why do we all do it? Because we don't get the education. And listen, I'm going to applaud you right now. For having the courage to ask the question and to learn. All right. So I'm going to teach you right now, just in a couple of seconds, how to save interest. What my program does is teach you, it actually guides you like financial GPS to tell you exactly what to do for you in the right month on the right day of the month. But can I give you just some basics so you can understand how you can attack your loan?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say in the first month, we're taking a look at the first month, and let's call it January. You make your payment in January, $380.78 goes to principal, $540 goes to interest. But if you have an amortization schedule, you can see next month's principal payment. That would be February's principal payment. I have here that the next month's principal goes to $381.71. That goes to principal next month. And your interest drops to $539.90. So here's my question. If I can see what I'm supposed to pay next month, which is the $381, do I have to wait till next month to give the bank that $381?
I don't think so.
Okay. So if I gave it to them early, if I had it, I'm just saying if I had it, I could give it to them in the same month, couldn't I?
Yes.
And if I did, guess what? They would subtract that from my loan immediately. $381.71 is subtracted from what I owe, and I don't have to give them any more interest that month because I paid my interest already for the month. How about that?
I'm like, sign me up.
All right. And so now I'm paid down to line 2 on my amortization schedule. On my schedule, I'm paid down to line 2, where I owe only $219,237.51. So I'm paid down to line 2 in 1 month. How about that? And guess what? There's an interest payment on line 2, $539.90, that I never have to pay. You just killed that interest amount just by paying early.
But can you pay more than 2 months? Can you look down or no?
Look at you, Miss Andrea. Without even seeing the numbers, asking the right questions. Yeah. What if you, let me call out to you the next 3. How's that?
Sounds good.
So if I make that payment on line number 1, the next 3 principal payments are $381.71, $382.65, and $383.59. You can pay all 3 of those if you wanted and knock out the interest cost on those 3 lines. You would save $539, $538.96, and the $538.02 worth of interest you never have to pay. That's over $1,500 in interest you never have to pay. And you just killed 4 mortgage payments. And now you're on line 5 of your amortization schedule for the next month just by killing those 3. That's a very good question.
So let's say that I got in a bind. I paid 3 mortgage payments in a row. Let's say month 2, I couldn't pay again. Is that okay because I'm already paid up?
That is another good question. You can't pay in advance. You have a mortgage payment every single month. So never think you can pay in advance. What you're saving is time and you're saving interest. But you have a payment every single month. You just have fewer payments by doing this.
Okay, that sounds good.
How do you like that?
Yeah, I definitely would like maybe someone reach me out to me, or if I can reach out to you guys somehow for some information.
Okay.
That would be nice.
All right. So, how long have you been on Clubhouse?
Probably like a year and a half or so, but
Okay.
I come and go. I just come to listen
Okay.
to people and information like this.
All right. Good. So, what you could do is hit me up on my Instagram. All right. Do you know how to find it? That's why I was asking.
Do I just look up the P.I.L.L method on Instagram?
No, yeah, you can look up the P.I.L.L method on Instagram, or you can hit my bio here, and scroll down to my Instagram. Either way, and then just send me. Just say, listen, I want to know more, and send us your name. Put in your name, your email, and phone number, and someone will reach out to you, and we'll get you started on understand. How would you like to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free on your mortgage and all of your other debt?
No, that would be good. I'm going to follow you right now, and then I will message you when I get off work today.
Excellent, excellent. So if you message me, I'm going to find you here. Do you have a? Oh, look, there you are. I'm going to send you a message right now on your Instagram, and so that you'll be there. This is Don. This is Ice. All right. All right. And I'll give you my 10K card as well. There you go. So now we are starting our conversation. Let's finish up a little later after work. Thank you so much for bringing
Thank you.
your question to the stage. Bye-bye. All right, folks, you heard it. There we are, getting more information out. All right. So, all right. Any other questions out there? Anybody else? Miss Lady Miz, how are you doing this morning? I see that you wanted to come to the stage. Did you have a question or comment? Lady Miz? Let us know when you come back. I know you're busy. All right. So listen, folks, this is part one of multi-parts.
Hey, I'm sorry.
That's quite all right. That's quite all right. So folks, if we don't get everything done, this is going to be part one. We're going to pick up again on Friday to do part two. All right. Lady Miz, how are you doing this morning?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. What did you want to bring to us this morning?
Well, I love what you just did with the lady, and of course, I wanted the first.
We lost you, Lady Miz.
Hello?
There you are.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Somebody called my phone. I filled out a form. I filled out the form so I can set up. I was trying to set up something with you to work directly with you, because I definitely, I told you before I have a mortgage, home equity loan that I want to pay off, and I'm not sure what happened, but I'm just trying to find out how we can move forward.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you, when you put that in, did you put in all of your financial data? Because that's what we need. There's two forms. The first form, okay, I'll explain how this works. You go to our website, okay? And then you're going to put in your name, your phone number, and your zip code, all right? And one of those things that you're going to confirm is your cell phone number. By confirming your cell phone number, then we're going to send you a text. And then that text is a code. So you get the code, you put that back into the website, and then something else will light up. It says, do you want to save now? You click on that button and it lets you into our financial form. Therefore, you put in your mortgage and your other financial data in there. And then my staff takes that information and then sets up a meeting.
Right, I filled out the form. I don't know if it didn't go through, but I do remember going through that process because it was, asking for, financial information.
Okay. So,
but I can always try it again.
So, Lady Miz, here's what I want you to do. Hit me up on my Instagram with your phone number, and then I'll check into it after the show.
Okay, great. And also, two other things.
Yeah.
As far as the escrow.
Yes.
Do the banks give you an option? Because it always feels like they never give an option for them not to collect the escrow. It's almost like you don't have that choice.
On some mortgages, you do have a choice, and some mortgages you don't. But here's one thing they don't do. Even when you do have a choice, they don't let you know you have that choice. Okay?
Okay.
So because we're not informed does not mean we don't have it. Okay?
Now, if on the mortgages that you do have a choice,
Yes.
but you already did it, can that be changed, or once you're locked in, that's what it is?
No, there are some that you can opt out. Yeah.
Oh,
You can opt out of it depending on the type of mortgage you have. And you can do that at any time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice. That's great info. And lastly,
Yep.
I'm not gonna hold you long. I would love to interview you on my podcast. I don't know if I spoke to you about that before, but if you're interested, please let me know. I would love
Okay.
for you
I'll let you. I'll let you
share
know
with my
as.
viewers.
I'll let you know as soon as I can. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Thank you so much, and thanks for all that you do. Amazing information is so helpful. We appreciate you.
So listen, if you will go to don10k.com. So I'm going to put it in the chat, don10k.com. All right. don10k.com. And so if you go there, you'll see my admin, and her name is Teresa. Contact her, and then she will set up a time for us to do the podcast. It's that easy.
Great. Okay. All right. Perfect.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
So
Yep,
yeah,
I'll be looking in the chat for
I'm
that.
putting that in there, don10k.com. You'll see Teresa. You'll see her direct phone number in the office. You'll see our email. Whatever you need, contact her. She'll put it on the calendar.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too. I would love to do the podcast.
Great. Thank you.
All right, folks, you saw what happened.
I've had him as a guest on my podcast, and he's phenomenal. So definitely. I'm glad you took advantage of that. In fact, I'm surprised more people have not asked Don to be a guest on their podcast, because Don is phenomenal as his own host and as his own show runner. But let me tell you something. You bring Don in as a guest, this man is a closer, y'all. I mean, he will knock it out the park. I mean, he was preaching. I mean, I had him on my show, man. They were like, bring Don back. So no. Kudos to you for taking advantage of that. Don, sorry for interrupting. I just had to jump in there, man.
Thanks.
Listen, Kurt Nugent is our production manager. That's why you don't see him, but you do hear him. If you're online, you can see him. So, Kurt, go ahead and introduce yourself and what it is that you're doing for us, man.
Absolutely. As Don shared, I get the privilege and honor to host, to be able to be the production manager, to make sure all of the things are happening online the right way. We're making sure you guys can see and hear. And one of the things I like to tell folks is that your live stream, your live show, your podcast is your digital storefront. The truth is that it's the name of the game is discoverability. Discoverability. If you don't know that term, look it up. You can probably figure out what it means, but discoverability. The more touch points you have, the more content you put out there, the more value add that you have done for people. These are more places that people can figure out what you do, who you are, what you have to offer. And this is why I love working with Don, because he said it earlier, the consistency is really the secret sauce. When people can set their clock on your content, when they say, man, Don, oh yeah, that had to be a Wednesday because Don was on this morning, right? When people can set their clock based on your content, when they come to know that you are going to show up in certain spaces and provide a particular level of value at a quality that you can share with others, this is what it's all about. And I love what Don's doing. And yeah, there are several people who have asked, how can we do this for ourselves? How can we have this same experience? Don, if you got a second, I want to share this. This is a email that I got from a subscriber recently, right?
Go for it, man. Go for it.
This is what he says. He says, Kirk, you don't know me, although you have mentioned my YouTube channel, Demolition News, once or twice during your live streams. I just want to say a massive thank you to you and to give you insight into how far your reach extends and inspires. First of all, you are in the US. I am in the UK, just outside London. You are a man of faith. I am not. You are a good looking and young man of color. I am none of those things. And yet you have helped me more than you could possibly know. I am/was a magazine journalist specializing in the field of demolition when COVID-19 hit and had to shut everything down. However, I had been a guest on StreamYard live stream just prior to lockdown, and I figured that would be a good stopgap while the pandemic lasted. 2.5 years later, and I have never gone back to magazine journalism. Live streaming is now my full-time job. I broadcast daily in a news show format, and I have racked up over 500 shows since I began. And I owe much of that to, of course, the creators of StreamYard, who developed a platform that my 57-year-old mind can understand. But I also owe that to you. While the founders have provided me the tools, you taught me how to use the stream. And for that, I am eternally grateful. I receive newsletters and packages, fan mail, I guess, addressed to Mark, the live stream king. I'm flattered, but I know who the real live stream king is, and he taught me how it all works. Stay well, Kirk. That message literally made my day, y'all. I mean, it made my month, it made my year, but I want to share this with you because I want you to understand and plug into the power of live video, the power of having presence online, the power of consistency. Don is doing it. This guy, Demolition News, Mark Anthony, is doing it, and we want to be able to help you guys to do it as well. My name is Kirk Nugent. Geek Speaker Preacher is what I go by. Kirk 10K Live is my digital card. Hit me up, grab 15 minutes on my calendar. Let's chat about your vision, what it is you want to put out there, how we can use live video to establish you as a thought leader and create that steady stream of referral-based income. These are the things that we know we can do with live video. Don, back to you.
Hey, Kurt, listen, could you just spend just a little bit of time and tell us some of the things that you're doing and who in corporate America is reaching out to you because of your consistency and using your powerful platform?
Yeah. Listen, I've actually just finished in the last week or so, just finished redoing the studio here at home. So now we split it in two. So we have a space here on this side where I do my normal live shows and broadcasts and content creation. But on the other side, I have a space that's dedicated for my Amazon live show. And in that space, you will see countless boxes of equipment, stuff that has come in from drone providers, audio, video gear, some of the names that we all know and love, and some of the brands that we use daily. They send me the equipment to include it on my live show so that I can share with people some of the benefits, the tips, tricks, best practices. I mean, listen, I'm looking at my email right now. I have at least 5 or 6 more emails from folks. One says, hey, we want to send you some products that you can broadcast on your platform. I really just cannot overstate the impact and power that that happens when you show up in these spaces, especially if you are a person who, of course, has some ability to really relate on camera, where you can laugh and talk and be real. And there's a number of things that we can share with you and show you, my team and I, that is, to help you get across that hurdle if that's something that you struggle with. But what Don is referring to, man, is that it's just exponential opportunities that is happening for us. People that we're working with, that we've been able to do different things with. In fact, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the show Chosen. Right, this is a faith-based platform, faith-based show. It's in it's 2 seasons so far. The 3rd season is starting up next week. Literally next week. the 3rd season is starting next week, and my family and I, along with a good friend of mine, Leslie Samuel, and his family, got a chance to be background actors on that show, and got a chance to do some vlogging while on set with them in Texas this past August. So all of these things, again, are doors that open, connections that are made because we are in the space. It's discoverability is one of those things where it's like you may be doing it for one purpose, but because people will find you and follow you for their own purposes, other doors will open that you never thought possible. Did I think I was ever going to be a background actor on Chosen? Had no idea that would ever happen, but it did happen because I'm showing up online in a consistent way all the time. Thank you for that opportunity, Don.
All right. Thank you, Kurt. Listen, folks, here we are. Listen, we're about done. We're going to come back for part 2 on Friday. But here is part of what is happening with your mortgage and some of your other loans. I need you to focus in on what we're getting ready to show you right now. So I'm going to put this back on the screen. All right. So you can see this part here. All right. People ask me all the time, is this something we can do? And I'm telling you, I tell people all the time, this is part of your mortgage. If you have a mortgage in the U.S., you have this as part of your mortgage. If you have a loan, you have this as part of your loan. It says here, the borrower's right to prepay. I need you to understand that. It is the borrower's right to prepay. Understand it and benefit from it. What does it say? I have the right to make payments of principal at any time before they are due. A payment of principal only is known as a prepayment. This is the first part of the whole thing, folks. Understanding what prepayment of principal actually does for you. You have to know. Now, let's break this down. A payment of principal only is known as a prepayment. So when you pay principal only on a loan, that means you're paying before the next due date. You've already made a regular payment, and now you're sending in some additional money, either with that payment or in the same month as that payment before the next payment is due. That's what that means. So it doesn't matter if it's a dime or a dollar, or $100 or $1,000, whatever you send in addition to your regular payment that month, but it goes in before the next month, before your next payment is due, it's known as a prepayment. Now, if you are escrowing, if part of your mortgage payment is going for taxes and insurance, the default for any extra payments goes into that escrow account. That's the default. So you have to find out what is the way the bank wants you to communicate with them so that they'll know that your extra payment you want to go to principal and not to escrow. Don't assume that you know what their rules are. And don't take advice from anybody else. Call the bank. What are the rules to make a principal prepayment? They'll let you know, you follow the rules, and that money that you pay will be applied to principal. Okay? So the next paragraph says this. When I make a prepayment, I will tell the note holder in writing. So it is how you communicate with the bank the way they want to communicate. That's what that really means. So as long as you're communicating to the bank, how they want you to communicate. So you communicated to them that you want to make a prepayment, okay? You can make a full prepayment, meaning you can pay off the entire loan. Boom, it's gone. You paid it off. Or you can make partial prepayments. You can pay in smaller increments without paying any prepayment charge. Okay? Great. So now that you understand that part, now here is what the juicy part is right here, folks. Here you go. This is part of your loan, but most people don't know it. Watch this, third paragraph. The note holder, watch this, the person who holds my loan, the note holder will use all of my prepayments to reduce the amount of principal that I owe under this note. Now, this is key. What did we just read? What does that mean? When we break that down, it means this. When you pay that extra money, that means all the money you pay goes to the loan. $0 of that money goes to interest. You just found the loophole here to give the bank money without giving them interest money. If you do it according to their timing, if you go to their timing, then every time you make a payment, too much of your money goes to interest, too little of your money goes to principal. By finding the right timing involved, you can have 100% of your payment go to go to principal. That means that's interest money you do not have to pay. Just like that. Now, what do we do next? Watch this. If you make a partial prepayment, there will be no changes in the due date, meaning you're going to have a payment due every month if you make a partial prepayment. If you don't pay off the entire loan with your prepayment, then you do have a payment the next month. Your payment date does not change. Okay? If you make a partial prepayment, there's no changes in the due date or in the amount of your monthly payment, and your monthly payment does not change. Your monthly payment stays the same, and your due date stays the same. But what changes, Don? What changes is the number of payments that you make. If you have 360 payments, working with us at the P.I.L.L method, we can get you down to about 90 payments. 80 payments, okay? About 90 payments instead of 360 payments. How would you like that? Instead of paying forever to the bank. This is key, folks. This is key. All right? And so I want to stop right here, okay? We're going to get ready. So on Friday, we're going to get more into what's going on with understanding the P.I.L.L method in part 2. In part 2, we're going to pick up right from here, and we're going to teach you how to read an amortization schedule on Friday. We're going to be here at 7 a.m. And that's Central Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, when we're going to get into the first part of prepayment of principal, and I'm going to teach you how to read an amortization schedule. If you can't wait, you can go back to some of our prior videos where we actually have gone over the basic understanding of amortization schedule. You can also get my book. We explain part of it in there as well about understanding an amortization schedule. But we're going to get down deep. We're going to drill down on this thing where you can understand not only how to save interest, but what we haven't learned, what we haven't known for 88 years, and how that has affected us long term, not just a little bit, but it has literally disrupted our financial futures because we don't know what we don't know. Folks, you need to keep this in mind. You don't miss what you cannot measure. We have not known how much interest we've actually paid because we're not measuring it. Not only that, but if you could have paid less money in interest, you could have taken that money and invested it in your future, whether it's your 401k, whether it's the stock market, whether it's a whole life insurance policy. You could invest that money in several different ways, okay? In your annuity, in whatever you want, instead of giving it to the bank. So here is what we need to understand about that. The money that you paid the bank, you can't also invest. So if you don't know how much extra money you paid, then you don't know how much money you could have invested. If you don't know how much money you could have invested, then you don't know how much interest you could have made on that money. That turns into, for some of us, not just tens of dollars or hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars. That means that we could be missing out on an extra $1 million we could be adding to our families, even if you work a W-2 job, because you did not make the interest on the extra money you paid to the bank. Let's find out on Friday how prepayment of principal actually works. Tell all your friends, get it out there, okay? Share it with everybody that we're going to learn not only prepayment of principal, but we're also going to learn how understanding these loans can actually help make us a lot of money when we can take debt and turn it into wealth. I want to thank everybody for being here with me today. We're going to say goodbye to everybody online. Thank you, Kurt, for doing everything for us. We're going to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas one more time, and then we're going to come back here. We're switching over to Clubhouse for the last couple of minutes here on Clubhouse. Let's say goodbye to everybody online. See you back here on Friday. Dr. Eric Thomas, what do you have to say to us?
My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, and our team created the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt elimination system ever created. At our recent seminar in Nashville, Tennessee, the keynote speech was delivered by the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas. E.T., as he's also known, mentioned he paid off his mortgage in 4 years using the P.I.L.L Method. I invite you to watch and listen.
Listen to me, y'all. One of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Did you hear that? No mortgage, no stress. If you would like to become debt and mortgage free within an average of 7 to 9 years by cutting your interest costs by up to 75%, go to pillmethod.com and request a savings and earnings report today.